Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl May and welcome back to my channel. Today, just really wanted to touch the point of depression and suicide, mental health. It is something that I've battled with for years, but it kind of hit like that breaking point when Greasy passed. So yeah, let's talk about it. Let's get into this video. Hey. All right, so like first and foremost, can't really speak on all Caribbean households or all Haitians. I'm going to speak on my point of view of being Haitian. And depression and suicide is not a conversation or topic that we touch a lot. And quite honestly, I can say like, okay, for example, my sister went through it, but I know from word of mouth. I went through it, and I'm pretty sure she knows from word of mouth. But she actually witnessed it for sure, when Greasy passed. Which is crazy because while growing up, our parents want us all to be in the medical field, right? So obviously we study these things, we know these things, and half of our parents are in the medical field. But it's like they just refuse to believe that their kids can go through it, if that makes sense. So like every time you feel like something is like too much for you, your parent would be like, oh, I'll priye nan piye bon Dieu pou mande kouaj. Pou ka ede ou kebe sa ou pense ki twa lupo. So basically, go pray, ask God for strength to help you carry what you think is too heavy for you. But I don't think they understand that sometimes that strength that you need to even go to God to ask for strength, you're missing it. Like, if that makes sense to y'all. Growing up, elementary school was fine. Middle school, I got really chunky. I had Harry Potter glasses. Like, y'all, my self-esteem was bad. And around 6th, 7th grade, before I actually started to make friends, like, I got bullied. Like, y'all had a roller book bag, and they used to kick it. Like, yo, kick it. It's funny now, but y'all, it got so bad. I went home and I told my mom, I was like, I'm not going to school with this bag no more. Like, I'm not. And since then, I've had, like, self-esteem issues. Like, it takes a lot for me to feel good in the skin that I'm in, if that makes sense. And as that continued, yeah, you know, I made friends. I got a little older. But I can say depression actually kicked in 11th grade year, end of 10th grade year. I was talking to this boy who was literally like my best friend, and people will probably know who I'm talking about, but literally he was my best friend. Like, we knew everything about each other. Like, we wasn't in a relationship and we was still cool. That's how cool we was. Mind y'all, I was talking to him for like a good 4 years. Like, it was like, you know, we was homies. We was cool. He got into some trouble. He got locked up. When that happened, I went through it. Like, y'all, I was getting threats in my MySpace inbox. Like, yo, it was bad. And that's when I started to really experience depression. But it was more like, you know, to me, I felt like, I'm still young. I'll get over it. And as time went by, I did. I started to talk to people again. I started to date, move on. And of course, met Greasy. And yeah, life started to be good. Like, even till now, like, the boy that's locked up, that's my dog. Like, that's my homie. And then Greasy passed. And that's when I knew I hit rock bottom. Like, I slammed into that bed. Like, I hit rock bottom. Like, y'all, I'll never forget. The boy that's locked up called me when he heard Greasy passed. And I remember I was screaming. I was crying. I'm like, why? Like, why would God allow me to go through another heartbreak like this again? Like, Why would he let me feel this type of pain again? And yo, I felt it. Like, you guys, I was ready to go. Like, I was ready to go. Like, I was ready for them to go ahead and put my spot right next to Greasy because it was time to go. Like, I had enough. And it's just that growing up, I went through a few things that I still don't talk about, especially family-wise. And I'm not going to go into that, but family-wise, we went through a lot that people don't know and that I just still haven't discussed with anybody. So between the boy getting locked up, family stuff, Greasy's death, I realized I hit rock bottom. Like, I hit it. Like, that was it. Like, I couldn't take no more. I started to cut myself. I started to burn myself. All I wanted to do was party. Like, when Greasy first passed, y'all, I was in the club. I was crying. Like, I was crying. Like, I would step out with my brother and them, and y'all, I would start crying. Do you know how embarrassing that is? Like, you in the club, everybody turning up, and you over here like, yeah, I think it's time for me to go home. Y'all, it was embarrassing, but everybody, like, you know, they had that little soft spot. They understood what I was going through and stuff, which I was like, okay, cool. And even then, the drinking and stuff would kind of help out, but only if I was out. When I was home, man, the thoughts that would run through my mind. Y'all, I've had days where I'm driving and there's a little voice in my head telling me, like, go ahead and just stop on train tracks. You know, like, you don't want to do this no more. And it took a lot. Like, people watching this video right now, this is probably the first time you're hearing me say this out loud. And it's crazy. Like, I would have really bad meltdowns. Even now, like, you guys, sometimes on really bad days, I'll probably sit in my car and just scream and cry and scream and cry. Like, I don't think people realize that sometimes it's too much. Like, it really is too much. And my main problem with falling back and letting everything go to God was that before I moved to Orlando, I started to kind of like space out between my religion, and it wasn't nothing that I went through. It was just, you know, as you grow up, you notice different things, you hear different things, you see all these different religions, and you start to think, like, you start to not think but compare, and you become lost. Like, lost. And it's crazy because while growing up, all I knew was church. That's all I knew. I knew once Friday hit sundown, it was Sabbath time and we going to church. Saturday morning, going to church. Saturday afternoon, we going to church. And half of the people I grew up with, they was members of my church. So it was fun. Saw them at school, saw them at church. It was fun. And I honestly went to the livest church in Broward County. So I had fun. But like I said, as I got older, something was missing. And I don't know what it is, but it was missing. Then I moved to Orlando and it was more like okay. it got so bad to the point that Greasy was telling me, like, babe, we gotta pray before we go to bed. Like, we can't go to bed like that. And it was wild, like, wild, y'all. And then when Greasy's passed, like, all I could do was cry and not want to deal with the church thing at all. Like, at all. And by people telling me to go pray and stuff, I knew I needed to, but I couldn't. The strength that I needed to do it, I could not find the strength to do it. And I hard down want to thank the people who constantly called and check up on me, the people who still do it. And if you guys know you have friends that's going through something, check up on them. No matter what. Like, I have people who no longer check up on me because they feel like I'm going out and stuff, so I'm better. And I don't think they realize that I do that to kind of get out of my head. And I also realized that I'm not the only one going through things. And if it's one thing all of this taught me is to check up on people. Like, y'all, check up on people. No matter if you're just saying, hey, just wanted to text you, say I love you. Hey, just want to text you, see how you doing. Do it. Don't second guess it, y'all. Because especially with COVID, people who lost their jobs, people who lost family members, they are going through it. And don't hesitate. Like, if it's you and you feel like you done hit that down point, reach out to somebody who you know you can trust. If not, call the suicide hotline. Call it. I'm not going to say it's going to solve all your problems, but somebody loves you. Somebody cares about you. Like, y'all, even though I went through depression, I can say that it took a while for me to realize, like, yo, this is real. Like, the first time I hurt myself, like, it took a lot. And for people who know that people are going through this, the worst thing you could tell somebody is that they're being selfish, because you don't know what's in their head. You don't know. You may know the situation, but you don't know how in-depth it is. Like, you don't know if that person's at their breaking point. And for you to say that they are selfish for even thinking about doing something like that, you're not helping the situation. You're not. Like, seriously, y'all, check up on y'all friends, check up on your family members, shoot a text, like, do whatever it is, because trust me, it helps. It helped me a lot. And yeah, like, y'all know, this is like a conversation I don't think we talk about. And y'all be thinking like it's only girls going through it. It's not only girls. Guys go through it a lot too. Check up on your homeboys. It's not only your homegirls. Check up on your homeboys. They may seem like they're supposed to be the man and just got it all together, and they don't. Like, they don't. Sometimes they be going through it worse than us. Check on your friends. Check on your family members. Check on your loved ones. Trust me, it will save a life and it will be appreciated. But that is all. Was so glad to talk to y'all today. But tune in for the next video. I'm gonna try to drop something probably every other week, but we'll see how that goes. Anyways, it will always be MG Gang forever. Gang, gang, gang.